Good day everyone and welcome to our another session here in Discipline and Ideas in Social Sciences. So I hope that all of you guys are okay, you are safe and you are doing fine while you are watching this video lesson. So today we will be talking about the basic concepts and principles of psychoanalysis, rational choice theory and institutionalism. So our main goal for today is for you to have a general knowledge about the historical roots and the basic principles of these three different theories. So the first one that we will be talking about today is psychoanalysis. Psychoanalysis is actually one of the founding school of thought of in psychology. Okay, so as we all know, psychology is a branch of social sciences that helps us understand the human mind. Okay, with this branch of social sciences, we were able to grasp an idea how do people interact with one another. Okay, we were able to understand the reason behind why do people have this kind of responses, behavior, and attitudes towards the situation, other people, and other things around them. Okay, so and psychoanalysis is just one of the school of thought, okay, that contains principles that helps us understand until now why do people occur, or why do people have this kind of certain behavior, why do people experiences disorders, why do people have depression, why do people have these psychological disorders, and so on. Psychoanalysis is one of the oldest school of thought that helps us understand why are this happening in the human mind. Okay? So, isa po sa mga founding fathers ng school of thought na to is Sigmund Freud. So, he was born on May 6, 1856 from a very poor family. But because of his conscientiousness of being studious, si Sigmund Freud po ay nakagraduate from medicine at the University of Vienna in 1873 and later on became a neurologist in 1881. So, from being a neurologist, from being a medical doctor, how come Sigmund Freud ended up in studying, focusing, okay, developing psychoanalysis until the final days of his life? Okay? Because of this observation, he actually observed that most of his patients na lumalapit sa kanya usually experience neurotic disorders. Okay, they always experiences neurosis. When we say neurosis, this is not a diagnostic psychological disorder, but when we say neurosis, these are just a disturbances. Okay, this is just the situation, okay, or disturbances that a person experience that hinders that person to become functioning in a normal society. He experienced or he observed that most of his patients na lumalapit sa kanya have this chief complaint that they are experiencing disturbances that makes them or hinder them from being a productive employee, that hinders them to become a productive student, that hinders them to become effective and create a harmonious relationship with other people. So with this observation, and as being a neurologist, Sigmund Freud wanted to discover more what is happening in a human mind. Okay? He got more curious. Okay? Why do people experiences this kind of neurosis or disturbances? That is why Sigmund Freud traveled to Paris to study further. Okay? Until he met Joseph Brewer. Okay? So, si Joseph Brewer, I'm gonna write this. Okay? So, until Sigmund Freud encountered or met Joseph Brewer. Okay. So, si Joseph Brewer is one of the prominent psychologists in Vienna, or doctors in Vienna, but in France. Okay. So, during the time na nag-work etong si Sigmund Freud with Joseph Brewer, is this Dr. Joseph, or this Dr. Joseph had a patient named Anao. So, Anao is just a pseudonym for Bertha Pappenheim. Okay. So, pseudonym, ganun kasi ang ethics in psychology, that whenever you have patients and you are making, whenever you have patients, you always need to keep the confidentiality ng lahat ng information ng patient. So, tinago nila ang pangalan ni Bertha Pappenheim sa pangalang Anao. Okay. So, Anao has been sick for 2 years. Okay, napakatagal, no? He had been sick for 2 years. Ano ang chief complaint ni Anna? O bakit siya lumapit kay Joseph Brewer? So, one of the symptoms are, meron siyang nararanasang paralysis in the right arm and leg. So, if you know, paralysis is her right arm and leg, hindi niya yun kayang magalaw ng sarili niya. Okay? She also had difficulty in vision, nausea, pagkahilo, pagkalula, yon, inability to drink any fluids. Hindi niya kayang makalunok ng anumang tubig or any fluids. He also had, ito yung isa sa mga bizarre na symptoms ni Anao, that he had the inability to speak or understand her mother tongue. Okay? So, like for example, di ba, we were born as Filipinos. If you got the symptoms of this Anao, nagkaroon ka ng ganitong symptom, yung bigla na lang isang araw, suddenly, si Anao po pala, no, brief background kay Anao, isa po siyang social worker. Okay, social worker po si Anao. So, hindi po dahilan na wala siyang pinag-aralan, kaya mangyayari yun sa kanya. That is not the reason. It just that one day, suddenly, she just woke up, okay, na nakakaranas na ng mga ganitong klaseng simptomas. So, gradually itong nangyayari hanggang sa lumala na lumala. So, imagine you are a Filipino, you are speaking the Filipino language for more than 18 years, and then one day, di ba, nagkaroon ka ng neurotic disorder, and then after that, wala na, you cannot understand, okay, the language anymore. Meron pang, there are some studies that Anao, kasabay ng inability niya to speak her own mother tongue, kasabay nun that Anao was able to speak another kind of language that she was not able to speak from the very beginning. Okay, so that is a very bizarre, diba, symptoms na meron si Anao. Ano pa, she also had states of absence to the point na nagkakaroon ng alteration in her consciousness, okay, or awareness, okay, which is one of the reasons kung bakit si Anao nagkakaroon ng personality changes. Her personality tend to change abruptly. Okay? Kaya ngayon, parang may multiple personality disorder din si Anao, no? Pero hindi siya diagnosed na may ganun. Okay? So, parang may ganun siyang klaseng symptoms. At kapag meron kang multi-personality or multi-personality disorder, malaki din ang chances na nagkaka-amnesia ka din. Okay? Because as our personality change to one another, okay, you tend to forget whatever you did on the previous personality that you had. Kaya nagkaroon din siya ng amnesia, okay, every time, okay, during in that 2 years, okay. So, ngayon, the first thing, since Joseph Brewer and Sigmund Freud are both doctors, syempre they did physical exams. Neurologist si Sigmund Freud, diba? So, probably, in-undergo nila si Anao into different physical exams, diba? Pinasok sa kung ano-anong mga machines and everything. But then, they found out nothing. Okay? They found out nothing. They found out that Anao is not physically sick. Walang physical damage on her brain. Wala siyang stroke, kaya nagkaka-paralysis, wala siyang stroke, wala siyang sakit. Okay, could you imagine that? Diba? Could you imagine, diba? May mga simptomas ng sakit si Anao, but she doesn't have any physical basis on her symptoms. Okay? Kaya they come up, okay, with this kind of diagnosis, which is hysteria. Okay, illness. Okay, ang hysteria po, it is an illness where there were physical symptoms but no physiological basis of the problem. Just like Anao, she is unable to move her right arm and leg. Okay, pero wala naman siyang stroke. Okay, nangyayari po yun hanggang sa ngayon. There were some patients that suddenly they become blind. pero walang ophthalmologic, wala silang sakit sa mata, walang ugat na nasira, walang nangyaring ganun. There is some na suddenly naging mute na lang, okay? Naging mute, naging pipi sila, pero wala namang indications ng physical problems. Okay, there is some na biglang hindi nakalakad, biglang nabingi. Okay, bilang sumasakit yung tiyan, sumasakit na napakatindi yung ulo, pero wala silang physiological basis or cause of those symptoms. And that is what we call hysteria. Ngayon, tinatawag siya ngayong psychosomatic disorder. Okay? But later on, they termed it as, but before, diba, they termed it as hysteria. So, ngayon, it is a very difficult illness, okay? Kasi hindi mo nga alam kung ano yung problema. Wala namang sakit, pero may symptoms, diba? So, Sigmund Freud and Joseph Brewer are really so clueless on what they're going to do until they observed that Anao, okay, during the time that she had experiences, she experienced absences or states of absences, Anao tend to mumble words. Okay? Or parang nag-utter siya ng iba't ibang mga words. Okay? Na pinagtagpi-tagpi nila Brewer at ni Freud until they came up to a conclusion that most of the words that Anao uttered is about his father. Okay? So, what they did, they let Anao talk and talk and talk and talk. Okay? So, yung process, okay, na hinahayaan nila na magsalita si patient, tinatawag natin siyang talking cure. Okay? We call it as talking cure. Okay, pinagsasalita si client hanggang sa ma-release ko ano yung mga kanyang unconscious problems, unconscious emotions, or emotions that the patient is unaware of. Okay, until nung habang ginagawa ni Freud at ni Brewer to, na pinagsasalita lang si Anao hanggang sa umiiyak na siya. Okay, kung ano na ng mga nasasabi niya towards her father, and until that time, okay, Anao was able to move her right leg. Okay, walang therapy, walang tawag dito, yung physical therapy na ginawa si Freud and Brewer. They just let Anao talk and talk until sa gumalaw yung right leg ni Anao. And then, kinontinue nila itong therapy na to, yung talking cure therapy, until si Anao nag-fully recover siya. Okay? So, in this story, I want you to remember the case of Anao, because this is going to be the basis of our lesson about psychoanalysis. Okay? So, ngayon, because of this case, okay, Sigmund Freud, ayan. So, Sigmund Freud, doon na siya nagkaroon ng curiosity. Teka lang, parang there is really something more. Diba? There is really something more than the physical factors na meron ng utak. Okay, there is really something more. That is why, okay, Sigmund Freud came up to this image. He identified the human mind as an iceberg. Okay, kung nakikita niyo yung iceberg, no? So, ang iceberg, alam natin yan, na akala natin malaki na siya doon sa nakikita ng bare eyes natin. But then, kapag nilangoy mo, okay, kung kaya mong langoyin, pero kung titingnan mo yung ilalim ng karagatan, napakalaki pa pala ng part ng iceberg yung nakatago. Okay, and Sigmund Freud described the human mind as an iceberg. Okay, that the step that you are seeing, okay, I'm gonna write this. Okay, that the step, okay, of iceberg that we are seeing is just 1/4 of okay, of our mind that we do not know yet. Okay. Naniniwala ang mga proponents ng psychoanalysis na we are occupied by our unconsciousness. Okay? Ngayon, bago natin i-discuss ito, no? Okay, so in this iceberg description of a human mind, kung makikita nyo na hati siya sa tatlo. We have the conscious, the pre-conscious, and the unconscious. Okay? So, ang consciousness, kung makikita nyo, ito yung nakikita natin. So, these are the thoughts that we are aware of. Okay? These are the ideas, the behavior, the attitudes that everyone is aware of, that you are aware of doing it. Okay? Then we have preconscious. Ang preconscious, these are the ideas and thoughts that you are unaware of. Okay? So, usually, ang preconscious, ang na-involve dito ay yung mga dreams. Okay, mga panaginip. Ito ay nasa preconscious or subconscious natin. We are aware that we are dreaming, but we are not aware why we are dreaming that kind of dream. Naranasan mo na yon? Alam mo, na napanaginipan mo, okay na naglalakad ka sa snow, pero hindi mo alam kung bakit ka nga ba talaga naglalakad sa snow. And that explained our unconsciousness level. Okay? It is, kung makikita nyo, parang 90% ng mind ng isang tao, it comprises of our unconsciousness. That these are the thoughts and the ideas, the behavior, the attitudes that we are unaware of. Okay? So, yun yung consciousness, we are aware of it. Pre-conscious, we are partly unaware and partly aware of it. And we have unconscious, which is totally we are unaware of. Okay? We are unaware of. Ngayon, etong si Sigmund Freud, ayan, he classified the different levels of consciousness. Ito yung conscious, pre-conscious, and unconsciousness. Ngayon, kung makikita nyo in the image, there is also these three things. Ego, superego, and id. Or id, ego, and id, ego, and superego. Okay? So, itong id, ego, at superego, we call it as the structure of personality. So, isa-isahin natin siyang i-explain. Okay? What do we mean by id? When we say id, it is known as the pleasure principle. Okay? Pleasure principle. Ano ba pag sinabi nating pleasure? Okay? Ang pleasure natin is, according to psychoanalysis, diba, we have three drives. We have the three drives that we are craving of. Okay? Tatlong kinds ng pleasure. We have the hunger, the thirst, and the sex. Okay? So, yun yung tatlong pleasure na binibigyan ng focus ng idea ng psychoanalysis. Okay? We have the hunger, the thirst, and the craving for sex. Okay? So, normal lang daw sa tao that we have those kinds of pleasure in ourselves. And those kinds of pleasure are the pleasure that we are unaware of. Ngayon, itong si id, okay, since siya ay pleasure principle, maano to si id, ma-push to. Okay? Kumbaga, ito yung klase ng kaibigan mo. Sige, tara, inom lang tayo. Sige, tara, punta tayo dito. Sige, tara, mag-shopping tayo. Sige, tara, kumain tayo. Okay? Ang pinaka-goal lang nito ni id is to satisfy the pleasure. Okay, tatandaan natin, no, na itong id, ego, and superego, yan ay may iba't iba silang roles na ginagampanan, and their responsibility is to satisfy their roles. So, ngayon, itong si id, ang kanyang responsibility is to satisfy the pleasure. Satisfy the food. Kaya tayo, we cannot resist food. Okay, kala natin dahil lang sa kumukulo yung natin, pero according to Freud, meron niyang hidden meaning. Bakit ang hilig mong kumain? Natataka ka ba? Bakit meron kang, for example, no, meron kang habit ng hinangat-ngat, mahilig kang maggat-ngat ng kuko mo sa paa. Hindi, joke lang, kadiri ng kuko mo sa kamay mo, 'di ba? Sa daliri mo. So, there is a reason why you cannot help yourself biting your nails. That is not because your nails are delicious, di ba? Yummy ba ang kuko mo? Hindi po dahil doon. There is a hidden reason why you keep on biting your nails. It is because your id, okay, kasi focus ang id mo. Sige, ngat-ngatin mo yan kahit na mawalan ka na. May mga ganun tao na ngat-ngat ng kuko hanggang sa wala na silang kukong matira sa kamay nila. Bunot ng buhok hanggang sa mapanot yung certain part ng buhok nila or ng ulo nila. 'Di ba? Kasi yun ang ginagawa ni id, yun ang responsibility niya to satisfy the pleasure. Kung gutom ka, kumain ka. 'Di ba? Kung nauuhaw ka, kumain ka, uminom ka. Kung gusto mong ngat-ngatin yung kuko mo, ngat-ngatin mo yung kuko mo kahit na ano pang masama ang mangyari sa iyo. They do not care about anything. The id doesn't care about anything but to satisfy the pleasure only. Then we have the superego. Okay? Ang superego, this is the morality principle. Morality principle. Okay, we could say na kabaliktaran siya ni ego, ay ni id. Okay, si id, sige, mag-shopping tayo. Pero si super ego, teka lang friend, masama yung ginagawa mo kasi kawawa naman yung nanay mo, 'di ba, na naglalabada, 'di ba, yung tatay mo na nangangarpintero, tapos ikaw magsha-shopping ka lang, magmi-milk tea ka lang, gagastusin mo lang yung pera na binibigay nila sa'yo. That is super ego. The responsibility of super ego is to satisfy the morality. Okay? So then we have the ego. Okay? Ang ego is what we call the reality principle. Okay? As what you can see there in this image, there is a white line. Nakikita niyo yung white line? Okay, doon sa image natin. So, if you can see, the ego is the only one who is or who have the access in consciousness. Okay? Kaya nga siya tinawag na reality principle. Our ego is the only one who have the access in the consciousness, in the awareness area. Kaya nga itong si ego, siya ang nagbabalance ng dalawang ito. Si ego, dapat ang role niya, since siya ay parte ng reality, kailangan niyang ma-satisfy yung pleasure as well as with the morality. Okay? Okay, so like for example, I'm gonna give you a real life example, no? Paano nag-work ang id, super ego, and ego sa totoong buhay. So for example, you are in a classroom. Okay, ang klase ninyo is 11:30 to 1 o'clock. So, it is, tatatamaan niya yung lunch break nyo. Diba? Yung lunch time ninyo na 12 noon. Okay? Ngayon, si teacher, meron siyang rule. Ang rule niya is you should not eat anything inside the classroom. Okay? Ngayon, bawal kang kumain, bawal kang kumain ng candy, basta bawal ka kumain. Okay, yun ang rule ni teacher. So ngayon, 12 noon na, ayan, nagugutom ka na. Diba? Ngayon bumubulong si Id. This is not bulong talaga na audible na voice. Pero meron kang instinct, 'di ba, na gusto ko nang kumain, nagugutom na ako, nag-i-imagine ka na ng fried chicken, 'di ba, ng kwek-kwek, 'di ba, gusto mo nang kumain, parang nag-iisip na si Id mo, ano ba, tatakas na ba ako, tatakbo na ba ako para lumabas ng room para kumain. Okay? Ngayon si super ego, sasabihin niyan, ano ka ba, Id? Sabi nga ni teacher, di ba, bawal kang kumain. Bawal ka ding lumabas kasi yun ang rule ni teacher. Bawal kang kumain kasi nasa loob ka ng classroom. Ngayon, paano na? Kapag ka kasi hindi na satisfied itong tatlong to, doon na tayo nagkakaroon ng mga neurosis. Doon na nagkakaroon ng disturbances. Kaya ngayon, ang trabaho ni ego is i-balance itong si id at si super ego. Okay? Kailangan ni ego, okay, na masatisfy si pleasure at masatisfy din si morality. Papaanong paraan? Nasabihin ni ego na, sige, id, sige na nga, bibigyan kita ng chance, okay, na isatisfy ang need mo, isatisfy ang pleasure mo, 'di ba? Pwede ka namang uminom ng tubig. Mawala lang kahit papaano yung gutom mo, okay? Makainom ka lang kahit na papaano. Okay? So with that, nasatisfy si pleasure. With that, nasatisfy din ba si ego? Yes. Kasi ang sabi ni teacher, bawal naman kumain eh. Hindi naman niya sinabing bawal uminom. Ang sinabi lang ni teacher, bawal kumain. So, pasok ka pa din doon sa morality na tinatawag natin. So, yun ang goal na meron si ego. Kaya ngayon, mahalaga na itong si ego mo ay hindi dapat masira. Kasi kapag si ego mo po ay nasira, okay, doon na magkakaroon ng disturbances. Doon na magkakaroon ng neurosis. Okay, kapag si ego nasira at laging nananalo si id, yan, umaabot na yung mga tao na nagiging kleptomaniac, diba? Nakawin mo yan, diba? Nagiging nymphomaniac, diba? Nagkakaroon ng, what do you call this, yun nga, binubunot, diba? Yung buhok niya, hanggang sa mapanot siya. Diba? Meron nagilid yan sa obesity kasi kain ka lang ng kain. Diba, nagkakaroon ng disturbances sa normal functioning mo in a society. Ngayon, kapag si super ego naman na nasunod, anong mangyayari? hindi masasatisfy si id. Okay? Pag di na-satisfy si id, naku, patay na. Okay? Magkakagulo-gulo na. Kaya ngayon itong si ego, okay? Si ego ang importante. Kasi siya ang may touch lang sa reality, ay siya ang nagbabalance netong dalawa na to so that a person could function very well. Okay? So, like for example, in this image, ayan, di ba? Freudian friends. Okay? So, makikita niyo si id, ito si id, no? Yung may hawak ng alcohol. I don't know if that's alcohol. So, si id, ito si ego nasa gitna. Okay? So, kunyari, ikaw yan. Ngayon, meron kang kaibigan na sinabi niya, tara, inom tayo, inom tayo. Pero sabi ni super ego, wala, gabi na masyado, hindi na tayo pwedeng uminom. So, ang trabaho ni ego, paano mo ngayon isa-satisfy si id at si super ego in that situation. Okay? So, ganun siya. Okay? Then, ayan. So, that is psychoanalysis is all about. Okay? Ayan. So, just to give you another more information about the id, ego, and super ego. Ayan. So, ang id natin, ayan. So, when an infant is born, the mind has only one part, the id. Okay? So, ang id, diba, since ito ay pleasure principle, okay, ito yung kauna-unahang nag-i-exist sa atin kapag tayo ay pinanganak. Kaya nga, most na mga bata, diba, walang mga self-centered, ang mga baby. Hindi sila papansin, self-centered talaga sila, na kailangan yung atensyon nasa kanila, kasi kapag hindi mo sila pinadede, iiyak sila ng iiyak. Okay? So, it is composed primarily of two sets of instincts. Yun na nga, the life and the death instincts. Okay? Ayan, so nabanggit ko na. Okay, the life instincts termed as libido by Freud, it gives rise to motives that sustain and promote life, such as hunger, self-protection, and sexual desires. So, as I've mentioned before, that the id, okay, meron siyang tatlong pleasure na kailangan masatisfy. The hunger, the thirst, okay, may self-protection, pero hunger, thirst, and sexual desires. So, para kay Freud, the sexual and aggressive urges are by far the most important of these motives. Kaya nga, most ng theory ni Freud ay mostly about sexual desires. Okay? Kung mababasa nyo yung movie na A Dangerous Mind. Okay, I recommend you to watch it kung kayo ay may hilig sa psychology. You could watch the movie A Dangerous Mind. Okay, mapapansin mo that si Freud, habang nagsasalita siya doon, ang bida talaga doon ay si Alfred Adler. Pero habang si Freud nagsasalita siya doon, lagi niyang sinasabi na may factor ang sex, okay, sa behavior ng isang tao. Kaya nga, ang psychoanalysis, hindi lang siya ang theory na meron ang psychology, kasi hindi naman lahat ng theories ay nag-agree talaga kay Freud. Okay? So, sex and aggression are used by Freud to explain a vast range of personality characteristics. So, yan. Then we have the ego. So, we have the ego. Ego is formed because the id has to find realistic ways of meeting its needs, okay, and avoid trouble caused by selfish and aggressive behavior. So, ang trabaho ni id, it is to satisfy, ang trabaho ni ego, it is to satisfy the id. So, si id, okay, channel niya si ego para ma-release yung pleasure, okay, na gusto niya. Okay, then we have the superego. It is called as the morality principle. So, that is about psychoanalysis about Sigmund Freud. Then we have the rational choice theory. So, the rational choice theory, it can be traced back to the behavioral revolution in the American political science way back noong 1950s and 1960s. Okay? So, the behavioral movement, it was strongly influenced by the positivist tradition in the social sciences. Okay? So, one of the historical roots of rational choice theory is the behavioral movement, okay, na influence ang positivist tradition. So, what is positivist tradition? Okay? Positivist tradition, okay, it is a movement, or an argument by by the people in the social sciences, and they believe that the source of knowledge is by experience. Okay, tatandaan nyo to kasi ito ang pinagmulan ng rational choice theory. Okay? Ayan. So, positivists, they believe that the source of knowledge is experience. You can become rational. Okay? Magiging rational. Rational ka. It is natural for you to be rational kasi tao ka. But knowledge, okay, of survival, okay, ang source po noon ay ang mga experiences natin sa buhay. Okay? So, what is it all about? So, the RCT or the rational choice theory has become a dominant approach, okay, to political science, at least in the US. But while it traces its beginnings to the behavioral movement, it draws on the methodology of economics on contrast to behaviorists who drew on sociology or psychology. If we're going to search for this theory sa internet ngayon, most na mga lalabas dyan ay about sa economics. Consumer choice. Okay, ano ang, kumbaga yung way ng pagpili ng mga consumer ay nakabase sa experiences na meron sila sa product na pipiliin nila. Kaya most likely ginagamit ito ngayon sa economics. Pero tungkol ba saan? Okay, ang rational choice theory. Okay? So, tungkol saan ang rational choice theory? Ayan, they believe that observable behavior, ayan, should be the focus of analysis. Okay? They believe in the rational choice theory dahil influence nga siya ng positivists. They believe that observable behavior, okay, na bunga ng experiences natin must be the focus of our analysis. Okay? And this must be tested into empirical testing. Okay? So, ngayon, rational choice theory is a powerful tool in making sense of why people act or behave in the way they do. Okay? So, hindi lang psychoanalysis ang may kapangyarihan, di ba? Na maka-identify ng reason why do people act such kinds of behavior. Okay? But also the rational choice theory. Okay? Why? Because according to Elster, 'di ba, ang RCT, ang essence po na ito is when people faced with several courses of action, people do what they believe is likely to have the best overall outcome. Kaya nga siya rational choice theory. So, ang thought ng rational choice theory is ganito. People make decisions. We cannot avoid this. Okay? We cannot avoid making decisions in our everyday life. Pagising mo pa nga lang, magde-decide ka kung maliligo ka. Diba? There are always decisions that people need to do in our everyday life. So, it is part, okay, of our human experience. Okay? At isa din ito sa patunay na tayo mga tao, we are rational. Kasi tayo lang namang mga tao ang nakakagawang mag-decide kung ano ang gagawin natin. Ang mga hayop, they are aggressive. Okay? Base sa pleasure lang nila sila sumusunod. Pero tayong mga tao, we choose very carefully because we are rational. Ngayon, rational choice theory, they believe that people make decision, okay, they act toward a situation based on their belief if that decision will have a pleasing outcome. Okay? Ayan. Outcome yan. Okay? So, in the rational choice theory, okay, ang mga tao, we make decision, okay, we make decision to choose this behavior. We've decided na makipag-interact sa mga tao sa ganitong klaseng paraan. We have decided to go this way, because we believe, okay, that this kind of choice is the most pleasing or has the most pleasing outcome that we can experience. Okay? So, ibig sabihin niya na mga decision natin ay base sa kumbaga, we decided to do this certain thing because we believe that this decision will give us the best outcome. Okay? Okay? So, ibig sabihin yan, our actions, our decisions are always based on our preferences, beliefs, and feasible strategies. That is why I'm gonna present you this. Okay, the three pillars of RCT. Okay, first, ang mga tao, we make decisions based on the strategies or courses of actions that are open and available to us. Okay? Ulitin ko ha, di ba ang RCT, saan siya rooted? Positivism. Di ba? Positivism, ang positivists, they believe that people, the source of knowledge is experience. So, tayong mga tao, we make decisions, we choose this kind of behavior, we choose this kind of attitude, okay, through using the strategies or courses of action that are open and available to us. Okay? So, ang pinagmumula ng mga decision natin are the resources that we already experienced. Okay? For example, 'di ba? Pumipili ka na, for example, in choosing friends, 'di ba? You choose this kind of you choose to have this kind of friends na tahimik. Ayan, pala-aral, okay, nasa library lang, mga matitino, kapag weekends, puro aral, kapag Friday, puro aral, lang gabi, puro aral, di ba? Tahimik lang sila, matitino sila. Why? Because of your experience. Okay? Na kasi, because of your experience of being poor. Okay? Meron ka kasing karanasan ng pagiging isang mahirap. Kaya ngayon, gagawa ka ng desisyon, okay, na available naman sa'yo, gagawa ka ng isang strategy to come up with a decision na maglilid ka sa success in the future. Nagigets natin? Okay, because of your experience of being poor, you are now able to come up with a decision na ganitong mga klaseng kaibigan ang pipiliin ko because I know that these people who are available to me, okay, will help me, will make me be developed for me to become successful in the future. Okay? So, nagsisimula, tama, yung decision natin based on the courses and strategies that are available to us. Available sa'yo na may available sa'yo ang desisyon na pumili ng kaibigan. So, you are using that strategy for you to choose very carefully na base sa nararanasan mo sa buhay mo. Okay, second, isa sa mga basis ng ating RCT is the preferences over the end states to which combinations of actions chosen by the various players lead. Okay? So, you prefer to choose this kind of friends kasi nakikita mo, okay, na yung mga kaklase mo dati na napupunta sa mga klase ng mga tao na palainom, palabisyo, sila yung mga maagang nabubuntis, okay, sila yung mga hindi nakakapagtapos. Okay? Because of that experience that you saw from other people, nakakapag-create ka ngayon ng preferences. Okay, na dito na lang ako sa mga ganitong klaseng set ng mga kaibigan kasi nakita ako sa mga friends ko na may mga experiences na hindi naging maganda kasi ganitong klaseng mga kaibigan ang pinili nila. Okay? So, next, their beliefs. Okay? So, their beliefs about important parameters such as others' preferences. Okay? So, pasok dito ang culture. Okay? Pasok ang culture dito. Okay? So, those are the three pillars of RCT. We make decisions based on the strategies, our preferences, and our beliefs. Okay? Next, we have institutionalism. Okay? So, sa institutionalism, ayan. Saan nagsimula ang institutionalism? Okay, it started way back in 1950s. It started way back noon sa Britain and the US in the early 20th century. Okay, naging kahit naman nung una pa lang, okay, mga panahon pa lang ni Plato, Aristotle, 'di ba? Malakas na, okay, mauso na ang pag-aaral ng political science. Okay? So, Until the 1950s, okay, institutionalism enjoyed a privileged status within the discipline. The assumptions and practices as well as its methodological and theoretical premises really questioned, let alone subject to the behavioral critic. Okay? So, it can be understood as a subject matter. Ang institutionalism, okay, it does not promote the perfect kind of institution that every countries or every nation in a society must have. But institutionalism is more on an academic discipline. Okay, it is more on a subject matter which includes principles, guidelines, concepts, and theories, okay, that helps us to understand kung anong perfect na klase ng institution ang ibibuild natin in our community. Okay? So, meron tayong iba't ibang, okay, so sabi nila that institutions, ano nga ba ang institutions? Institutions are devised by individuals. Okay? Institutions are devised in the individuals, and institutions are also recurring pattern of behavior. It is a stable, recurring pattern of behavior. Okay? So, malalaman natin yan mamaya. Okay? Bakit napasok ang behavior? Okay? Pagdating sa institutionalism. Because they believe that institutions, okay, have a great factor in the behavior of every people na nakatira sa isang lugar. Okay? That is why ang mga institutions natin, ito ay mostly nagiging resulta lamang ito, okay, ng kung nagiging resulta siya, okay, ng kung anong klaseng mga tao ang nakatayo, okay, o ang nakatira sa isang society. Kaya nga sabi dito, institutions are devised by individuals. Okay? Kung walang mga tao, okay, walang institutions. Hindi lang yun yung sense nito. But the kind of institutions that are being built in a society is depends, okay, on the personality, depends on the preferences of the people na nakatira sa isang community. Okay? So, for example, sa isang community, maraming churches. Kasi yung community na to, ganito sila eh. Kasi sa community, maraming mga buildings, mga corporate places. Okay, bakit? Kasi most likely na mga nakatirang mga tao sa ganitong city ay mga professional. Kaya nga, ang mga institutions, these are stable, recurring pattern of behavior because this represents, okay, the people living in a society. Okay? So, for example, anong example natin dito? Example natin, kunyari, sa isang bansa, they give importance to military forces. So, ang mga tao doon, so makikita natin na kung may ganong klaseng behavior ang mga tao doon, na binibigyan nila ng halaga ang military forces, we could expect na high school pa lang ang mga bata, 'di ba, tulad sa Korea, bibigyan na sila ng tawag dito ng hindi ng chance but itutulak ang ipupush ang mga bata, ire-require ang mga bata na pumasok sa army whether they like it or not. May mga institutions na ibibuild, okay, para itayin ng mga tao to become part of the military forces. Okay, so naging bunga siya, okay, na mga tao na nakatira in a community. So we have the different types of institutions. First is we have the old and traditional institutionalism. So we have the three different meanings to, hindi to type ha. So for us to understand the old or traditional institutionalism, we will explain it through this definition. So, ang old or traditional institutionalism, it is descriptive. Okay? It is descriptive inductive. Bakit? Because it employs the techniques of the historians and explores specific events, eras, people, and institutions. And inductive din po ang institutionalism because it draws inferences from repeated observations. Okay? So, more likely, isa sa mga characteristic ng traditional institutionalism is it just systematically describes. Okay? Describes the kind of government, describes the kind of institutions or the institutions that are being built from the previous generations up until now. Okay? So, kung mapapansin mo, nagpo-provide ba siya ng best na kind ng institution? Hindi. inaaral lang niya. In the old and traditional institutionalism, inaaral lang kung ano yung mga klaseng institutions ang nabibuild, paano binibuild ang institutions, paano nagre-respond ng mga tao sa institutions. Okay? Way back ng mga unang panahon pa hanggang sa ngayon. Okay? Then we have formal legal. So formal legal din po a description ng traditional institutionalism because it involves the study of formal government organizations, and it is legal because it includes the study of public law. Okay? So dito, okay, inaaral in the traditional institutionalism, inaaral lang ha ang traditional inaaral sa traditional institutionalism ang iba't ibang political institutions, like for example the constitutional studies. So kasama sa pag-aaral ng traditional institutionalism ang iba't ibang constitutions, okay, na meron sa Pilipinas panahon pa ng mga datu, panahon pa ng monarchy hanggang sa dumating ang mga Espanyol, ang mga Hapon, ang mga Amerikano hanggang sa naging Malaya tayo. So, constitutionalism doon. Okay, inaaral paano nagbabago ang mga batas, inaaral paano ini-implement ang mga batas, kung paano dine-develop ang mga batas every time na nababago ang generation. Okay, constitutional studies ang tawag doon. And lastly, it is historical comparative. Okay, bakit siya historical comparative? Because, sabi nga ni Woodrow Wilson, di ba, he argued that institutions can be understood only by those who know other systems of government. Okay? So, for example, kapag nag-aaral ka ng traditional institutionalism, you are also studying the different constitutions, you are studying different kinds of government, hindi lang sa Pilipinas, but also in Korea, in Japan, in United States, in UK. So, you cannot say that you fully understand, diba, democracy kung hindi mo inaaral ang pamamalakad ng democracy sa US. Okay, kung hindi mo inaaral ang democracy sa iba't ibang mga bansa. So, comparative yun. Okay? So, next we have new institutionalism. So, political behavior is embedded in an institutional structure of rules, expectations, and traditions that several limited free play of individual will and calculation. Okay? So, kung makikita natin, it denotes that the political phenomena could not be simply reduced to the aggregate consequences of individual behavior. Rather, the choices that people make are to a significant extent shaped by the institutions within which they operate. So, dati, in the old or traditional institutionalism, ano ang major natin nakuha dito? They are just studying, describing the different institutions, the different government, constitutions, diba, legal policies na nagawa from the different generations and from different countries. Inaaral, dinidescribe lang. But dito, in the new institutionalism, they describe that the institutions actually shapes, okay, the structure of rules, norms, and expectations at traditions ng mga tao. So, ang political behavior, okay, ay may malaking factor na nakakaapekto sa rules at norms natin. Like, for example, pansin nyo, diba, this is not to discriminate someone who is watching this video, but, like, for example, we have this there is already a policy in Manila wherein nagkaroon, I don't know exactly the name of the policy, but that policy protects the members of the LGBTQI. Okay? So, because of that kind of policy, because of that kind of political behavior, mapapansin natin, okay, with that policy, 2 years, 3 years from now, mababago na ang conservatism ng mga tao. Okay, before, wala namang mga policy na ganun eh. Okay, 'di ba? Kaya ang tingin ng mga tao sa members ng LGBTQI is may gender dysphoria or di naman kaya it is bad. Okay? But, di ba, kung mapapansin natin, because of those kind of policies that are being built, mawabawasan na ang conservatism ng mga Pilipino. We will now be able to become very liberated. Okay? Which, for me, is not a good thing. Because that will definitely change the norms, the culture, and the tradition na kinalakihan natin. Darating at darating ang panahon na habang binabago ang political behavior natin, mababawasan ang identity natin ng pagiging isang Pilipino. Isang Pilipino na may takot sa Diyos, isang Pilipino na tawag dito na may pagmamahal sa bayan, may pagmamahal sa binigay ng Diyos sa kanya, and so on. Later on, hindi natin niya mapapansin ngayon kasi gagagawa lang. Pero because of those kinds of policies that will be built, okay, later on, mababago ang kultura, ang rules at norms ng mga tao. Okay? So, kita-kita na lang tayo 5 years from now kung anong mangyayari. Okay? But in the normative institutionalism, okay, so political institutions influence in then actors' behavior by shaping their values, norms, interests, identities, and beliefs. Okay, so almost the same lang siya with the new institutionalism, but it is more focused on the norms, interests, identities, and beliefs. Ang normative institutionalism, focus siya masyado sa mga norms and cultures. Pero dito, sa new institutionalism, hindi lang norms, okay, but everything. Okay, including the policies, including the relationship of people to other people, including the economics, including everything. Okay, na may mga malaking epekto ang political behavior pagdating sa ekonomiya, pagdating sa agrikultura, pagdating sa social relationship ng mga tao. But here in normative institutionalism, it is focused more on the norms. Okay, and lastly, we have the rational choice institutionalism. So, political institutions, it influence the behavior by affecting the structure of a situation in which individuals select strategies for the pursuit of their preferences. Okay? So, ang rational choice institutionalism, they argue that institutions provide information about others' likely future behavior and about incentives attached to different courses of actions. Okay? So, dinideny po ng rational choice institutionalism that institutional factors produce behavior or shape individuals' preferences, but they see it as endogenously determined and relatively stable. Okay? So, hindi lang institutions ang nakakaapekto sa mga tao, but it is also the people who can affect, okay, the decisions of the people, the preferences of the people, okay, parang give and take effect. Okay, so ang institution na to, magbibigay siya, ang institution na to, okay, it will give an effect or impact sa mga desisyon ng mga tao, and the decisions of the people will also give an impact, okay, to how does that institutions are being implemented in a community. Okay, so parang siya, balikan siya, okay, na epekto. Okay, so I guess that's it. Okay, that is our lesson 4 today. So a quick recap lang. I'm just gonna give a very quick recap about our discussion. So, ang psychoanalysis, okay, so naniniwala sila that we are shaped by our unconscious mind, okay? Kaya nga, just like with Anao, diba, nagkaroon siya ng mga physical symptoms, not because of the physical sickness, but there are also things na unaware pala siya, na nararamdaman niya sa tatay niya, na hindi niya nare-release, kaya siya nagkakaroon ng sakit. So, our disability or our disorder is originated when there is an imbalance between the id, ego, and super ego. Okay? So, usual ng behavior daw natin ay nanggaling sa ating unconsciousness. Then we have rational choice theory. It is more on about that the fruits of our rationality is our ability to make decisions in life. So our decision is usually based on our preferences, beliefs, and strategies that we believe are have the pleasing outcome in the end. Okay? Then we have institutionalism. So ang institutions, okay, these are part of our community that are devised by individuals. Okay, but also these institutions are also affected on how do people, okay, respond to these institutions. So ayun lang. If you have any questions, you could just comment na lang, and you could send me a private message if you have further questions. So that's it. Yun lang. Thank you for listening and have a great day ahead. God bless everyone.